Hey guys, so we would be exploring GKE more in this lecture. Now that we have the cluster, it's time to have a quick look on it. Make sure you are logged on the GCP console and are viewing container cluster under container engine. The container cluster page shows a high level overview of the container cluster you have in your project. The figure, the diagram or the table at the top of the screen right now, which you can see, shows a single cluster with 3 nodes running version 1.7.6 of Kubernetes. Click the cluster name to drill into more detail. Figure 3.6, which is the one below, shows a screenshot of some of the details you can view. Clicking the Connect console icon towards the top right of the web UI gives you the option to open a Cloud Shell session that you can inspect and manage your cluster from. So open a Cloud Shell session and run the gcloud container cluster list command. This will show you the same basic cluster information that you saw on the container cluster web view in the previous figure. So let me go to the next screen. So the output above has been clipped to make it more readable. If you click connect and choose the show gcloud command option, you will be presented with the commands needed to configure kubectl to talk to the cluster. Copy and paste those commands into the Cloud Shell session so that you can manage your Kubernetes cluster with kubect1. Run a kubect get node command to list the nodes in the cluster, as you can see on the screen here. So now we are done. You know now how to create production grade Kubernetes cluster using Google Container Engine. You also know how to inspect it and connect to it. Now installing Kubernetes in AWS. So there's more than one way to install Kubernetes in AWS. In this lecture, we are going to show you how to do it using the kops tool that is under active development. So there is a constant change happening to it. Kops is short for Kubernetes operation, and right now the only provider it officially support is AWS. However, GC is in beta and vSphere is in alpha, with even more platforms planned. At the time of giving this lecture, there is also no kops binary for Windows. You will need all the following to follow along with the rest of the other lectures. Number 1, a decent understanding of AWS fundamentals. Number 2, kubect1. Number 3, the kops binary for your OS. Number 4, the AWS CLI tool. And number 5, the credential of an AWS account with the permission on the following: Amazon EC2 full access, Amazon Route 53 full access, Amazon S3 full access, and IAM full access. And finally also Amazon VPC full access. The examples below are from Linux machines, which we are going to discuss now, but it works the same on a Mac. The example also uses a publicly routable DNS domain called tf1.com that is hosted with a third-party provider such as GoDaddy. Within that domain, we have a subdomain called K8s that is delegated to Amazon Route 53. You will need to use a different domain in your lab. So now coming on to the procedure for Linux machine. It's a 4-step process. First, use the following command to download the latest CubeActive1 binary to your home directory, which you can see here. The command above is single command, but it's quite long and will wrap over multiple lines in the book and insert backlashes at the end of each printed line. These backlashes are not part of the command. Step number 2. Make the downloaded binary executable, which I have done here. Step number 3. Add it to a directory in your path, which you can see here. And final step would be run a CubeActive1 command to make sure it's installed and working. So that's it for this lecture. In the next lecture, we would be talking about more downloading and installing COPS. Thank you.